guest this month is Marilyn Fedele, and this is a person who has traveled all over the world. And she and her husband, Dick, aren't letting the grass grow under their feet, that's for sure. They are on flights to any and all of the places that they want to see and experience. Thank you, Marilyn, for being here and sharing your stories with us today.
You're very welcome.
I want to know, how many countries have you traveled to so far? I'm saying so far because I know this is just before.
I really couldn't tell you, but I've traveled all over the U.S., Canada, never been to Mexico, have been to South America, all over Europe, Asia, Africa, been to China. The only continent we have not been on is Africa. I don't mean Africa, I mean Antarctica.
Oh.
Because we've done several safaris in Africa.
Oh my goodness. So actually you're home just a little while and then you're taking off again.
Usually it's only 2 large trips a year, but sometimes they're close together and so it appears that I'm gone more. Mm-hmm. For example, this year we did this trip I'm talking about. We're leaving for Vietnam the middle of February, and then we'll be going to Nova Scotia in May for my granddaughter's college graduation. So it's a whole bunch close together, but that isn't normal.
Is it good for you when you get home? Because I know I can travel for 2 weeks or something, and I'm so happy to get home and get into, my bed. And
there's no place like home. It could be a shack, but it would be home. Mm-hmm. And there's no bed as good as my bed.
But you're out of your bed a lot.
That's right.
So do you do tours or do you do this alone with your husband?
Mostly we do tours, Barbara. And one of the reasons we've done mostly tours is some of the places we go are places that are very busy. All of the tourists want to go. So by going on a tour group, when you get there, you don't wait in line. You don't have to wait in line to buy tickets. You walk right in. That's one reason. Another is we don't travel with friends. We make friends all over. And we have traveled with friends that we've made on other trips by meeting them at another destination.
Ah, okay. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you probably wouldn't meet people that go as much as you. And no. You do meet new people all the time.
Yep. And that's a lot of fun to meet all these people.
Yeah, I imagine.
And we like the cultures. We do not go to shop. Most times we maybe bring home a candy bar or something like that. But we enjoy the culture of the different countries.
Ah, okay. Do you ever take off from your tour group? Or
yes, there is also free time. For example, this past summer when we traveled, we have friends that live 40 miles north of Stockholm. So we stayed and visited with them for 4 days. Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. It's good to have friends in other countries.
Oh,
I know that.
Yeah.
Because our last trip to Italy, we went from there to Germany to visit friends. Mm-hmm. And they took us on a tour of their town they had just moved to. And, it's great because you have someone who has the language, you have someone who knows what to show you, and it's not with a big group, it's just with friends. So,
and the tours that we've gone on, it's not big groups of people. So, you get to know the few people on your tour, mm-hmm. and then you have free time. Maybe you're going to go off with one couple or go by yourself and do things like that, because you do get a lot of free time.
What about the food? I mean, you're changing to a lot of different foods on these.
I will try whatever they're feeding us, no matter where I go. If I don't like it, well, I just have to eat a little bit. I don't have to clean my plate, but I will try whatever there is.
Yeah. Is there any time where you didn't like what you were eating?
When we were in, was it China maybe? I can't remember exactly. I tried tarantula and it was awful. But I had a napkin in my hand, so I could very nicely wipe my mouth and put the tarantula in the napkin.
Well, good. You learn all kinds of tricks then.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you if there were any repeats to countries, but I'm assuming There are, but which ones would you like repeating?
My favorite, I did a lot of corporate travel as well when I was, and that's what whet my appetite to do more travel.
Okay.
Because corporate, you don't see anything. My very favorite country to visit would be Singapore. I've only been there for work. I would love to go back. But you can see the whole island in 2 days, maybe 3 at the most. In Europe, I love Germany. Germany is my favorite country. But I don't have one I don't like.
Yeah, yeah. When I went to Italy the first time, and my mother's side of the family is Italian, I felt such a relationship to everybody. I looked around and said, these are all my cousins. It just feels so good. Did you have that feeling?
No, because
never?
I'm an only child, okay? And my mother had a very small family, and my father died before I was born. So as a result, I'm a little family, so I never had that feeling anywhere. But everywhere I've traveled, people have been so friendly.
Yeah.
That, you know, and we always, every country I've been in, we have had either dinner or a cafe clutch in a native's home.
Oh, nice.
And that's where you really learn the culture of that country.
Yeah. I just thought maybe whatever background your parents are, that you would feel that.
English, and yeah, I love England.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Excuse me. All right, let's see. I was asking if you had a favorite, and you already told me that. That's Singapore. And, you know, you were on a trip recently. It was a cruise, right? It was
The first 2 weeks in November, we were on a river cruise down the Rhine. And we started out by going into Belgium, to Brussels and Bruges. And then we drove to Amsterdam and boarded the ship to go down the Rhine to visit all of the Christkindl markets. We visited 5 in Belgium, and we went to 8 in Germany. And by then, we were Christkindl marketed out.
well, good. So, next trip.
If all goes well, depending upon this coronavirus, we are supposed to leave on the 17th of February for Vietnam for 3.5 weeks. We're supposed to fly into Hanoi and then go further up north into the hill country and then go down. We'll have a couple of day cruise on the Mekong River and go down the Delta and end up in Ho Chi Minh City, which is the former Saigon.
This isn't the first time for you there.
I've been to Saigon before, but that was all I saw of Vietnam, and it is beautiful.
That's what I hear, and a lot of people have gone and said it is a beautiful country, and they would go back.
Yep.
Well, it's
The
probably...
traffic is unbelievable. I have never seen, and it's not with automobiles, it's with Vespas, or the small.
Oh, yeah.
And they put the whole family on one little Vespa.
Yep.
They carry their couches on one little Vespa, which we...
Well, the same in Italy, they are motorcycles, and they're all over the place, and that's the big thing, you know, and they do travel with the kids between the legs or the, you know, umbrella or whatever.
Oh, it's unreal. In the Netherlands, it's bicycles. And they have their briefcases and their umbrellas, and I don't know how they manage
That's
it.
Germany, too, and that part I kind of envy. I guess our roads and all aren't likened to, you know, a lot of bicycle, a lot of Vespas traveling. I think we're trying to work towards that, but it's not that way here at all.
People won't give up their automobiles.
Well, yeah, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And they like them big here.
Yes.
And they're getting bigger, so that I can understand. So if after Vietnam, what do you think you'd like to do?
I don't really have any other plans other than my granddaughter's college graduation.
I love Nova Scotia, too.
Oh, I do too. Well, that's where we're going to be for her college graduation.
Yeah, that's what
But after that, we don't have anything right now.
So, I'm going to ask you this because you travel so much. Do you get some kind of points or something for
Yes.
going that much?
Of course, I get airline miles,
Of course.
of course. And depending on where I've traveled, I have traveled so many with the Grand Circle family that the more you travel, you know, you get more points. And it's equal to dollars towards your next trip. So we do.
So it is worth it. If you have the time, if you're retired, if you...
Well, they're 55 plus. Grand Circle family is for 55 plus. It's not for the younger people. So it's really dedicated for us. But they don't allow walkers, they don't allow wheelchairs.
Okay, I wondered.
No, but you can have canes, but there are places that they tell you in their ads, you know, in their booklets, wheelchairs are not allowed, this isn't allowed. Canes are okay, but you need to have someone with you to help you. But there are others that you're not going to run into that.
Yeah, I wondered about that. And okay, you're in another country and you don't feel well. What do you do about that?
Oh, well, Dick ended up in the hospital in Iceland. We taught, you know, because we're traveling with a tour, I talked to the program director and he says, I'll take care of it. You don't speak Icelandic, but I do. So he talked to Dick and he took him to the hospital. And because they would only allow one person, he told me he would go and he would keep me informed and that I would go on with the rest of the people. And I said, oh, but I don't want to leave. He said, I'll keep in touch. And then after we had gone to what they call a home hosted dinner, was dinner in someone's home.
Right.
And after that, they stopped off and let me run into the hospital and the bus waited for me to come back to the hotel.
Oh, that's nice.
So they do take care of things
they
like
do.
that.
Yeah.
And on board ship one trip, he got an awful, awful cold. So he stayed in the infirmary. And because he'd gotten the cold and all, he became dehydrated. So on board ship, they gave him the saline intravenous and kept him on the ship in the infirmary.
Good.
So there is medical available.
That one is like water everywhere and not a drop to drink. Well, and then you still go on other trips, so I guess you really have had good care, or you would not want to do this.
That's right. I wouldn't want to leave, you know, if I didn't. And that's another reason why I like a tour group rather than going to an unusual place that I've never been, that I don't speak the language and I wouldn't know where to go or what to do.
Yeah, I think tours are, we don't use one now because where we're going we know what to do and everything. But on one of our trips we had a friend have a heart attack and he ended up in the hospital. And he ended up there a while. His wife had to stay behind after we were all leaving to come back to the States, and her sister stayed with her. He ended up passing away there. And she had to hire a medical plane to take him back here, you know. But it was all taken care of very well. And it's always wise to get the insurance.
I always get the insurance because I'm not 20 or 30 anymore.
Always get the insurance.
I always get the insurance because you just don't know.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're 20 or 30. You could have. I had another friend who went, I think, to Paris or something, and
you could
the day there, she broke her ankle.
I was just gonna say you could break a leg stepping off a curb.
She did. That's exactly what happened, and so she needed to come back.
Yeah.
But she was taken care of very well. So, yeah, a tour for someone probably is the best thing to do. And unless, like I say, they've been to that country a lot and they know people and they know what to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and making sure when you go on these tours that, like you said, they take care of you. Know they're going to take care of you.
Right, which is one reason we do. But when I was working, I mean, there are times now when I go to a country, I think I'll call, like when we were in Amsterdam, not this time, but the last time, it was only a stop. I called a friend who lives in Arnhem, which is just outside, and said, hi, Hans, how you doing? So, you know, I do have acquaintances from that.
Yeah.
And one of the other trips to Germany, we spent 2 days with a friend in Berlin and another one with a friend that lives north of Hanover. So we do have friends, places to go visit.
Yeah, yeah. And you make them along the way if you travel a lot too.
That's right.
So, yeah.
And if you want to be a piece of the fabric of the country. And,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is why I'll try eating anything. That's why we rode an elephant on an elephant safari for 4 hours when we were in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yep.
How long do you think you'll be going on these trips?
Probably not more than another couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
How many years have you been doing it?
About 25.
See?
Yeah.
So you are used to it, and you get your
And
Is your suitcase packed already? I mean, you must have one sitting at home. Just pick it up and we're going.
I always, when I come home, and this is from when I was working, the little bag that carries the toothbrush, the toothpaste, I clean that out, and it's always filled and put back in the suitcase. There's an umbrella that always stays in the suitcase. And we each have a pair of walking sticks, which we were forced to buy at Machu Picchu. So we keep those in the suitcase because we never know when we might need them.
Are they
They
retractable?
They
or-
fold up to about 2
Oh.
feet long. They fit right in the
Oh,
suitcase.
okay.
Then, because we knew we were going to Vietnam, and it's hot country, it's going to be 80 and 90 degrees, instead of putting all the summer clothes away, the things I thought I would take, I left out on the spare bed. So, but there's more than I will ever take. So I just have to now say, okay, which am I taking? And that's how I usually.
How long will you be going there for?
Counting all the travel time and stuff, it's about 3.5 weeks. We'll be in Vietnam for 21 days.
Wow.
Yeah,
Long time.
it's a long time.
Well, anything else you want them to know that it's important, especially if anyone wants to go?
If anyone wants to travel anywhere, they can always get a hold of me. I can give them the good points and maybe any negatives.
Good.
Because no matter where you go, there's
Good and bad.
always negatives. I mean, you can go to Acton and you're going to find the same thing. So it's not just foreign travel that's going to do it. It's anywhere you go.
Yeah, and since you've been all over the country
And the
and the
people.
countries, yeah, Marilyn is a good piece of advice.
Yeah.
To,
You could call me anytime, and I'd be more than happy to help you.
good,
Yeah.
good. Well, I appreciate it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I still want to travel, but I don't want to go for 4 weeks. Or I miss my dog too much.
I don't have any pets. When I was in Singapore, Dick, this was way back when I was working, Dick had to put our cat down. And he has never let me have a pet since then, unless I decide I will never travel again. I will stay home all the time to take care of this animal.
Okay. Well, you get a good sitter too sometimes, which we try to do. But yeah, I enjoy going, but I basically am kind of a
But I like to
homebody.
come home.
Yeah.
I love to come home. And
Probably feels even better
it does.
because you travel so much. Well, maybe after Vietnam, you'll have to come back and talk to us and tell us all about that trip.
Tell you all about Vietnam? I can do that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, my husband said obviously they haven't been there during the war. So that's why it's so beautiful now.
No. But we talked to people when we were in Ho Chi Minh City that had lived through the war.
Okay.
When we were in Croatia, we were in a home where they had lived through the war in Croatia.
Okay.
And the bullet holes were still in the house. So we've,
Heard it.
we've heard about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, by the way, Marilyn also works in our thrift shop. So if you want to see Marilyn, you can drop into the thrift shop and look around first.
Yes.
And then
Spend your money in the thrift shop.
Yeah, yeah.
I will gladly take your money.
Yeah. So anyway, again, thank you for coming.
You're very welcome.
And I'll be seeing you for sure.
Of course you will.
Yes.